to start to know. And actually, I went through your background and your profiles a bit on LinkedIn.
Sure. Yeah.
So impressive,
Yeah.
You have years of experience, and you work in cybersecurity mainly. And the special thing is you are from Washington, US, Europe, and APAC, and South Asia,
and Australia
as well. Yeah. So, so for today's our topic is focused mainly on the cybersecurity.
Okay. Yeah.
And with the context of the rise of AI eras.
Yeah.
And again, let I speak to in front of cameras and say hi to the audience of Thought Leadership series from SoCourse. I'm Paul, the host for today, and I would like to introduce you, Mr. Sam. He's like the top leaders in the cybersecurity industry for over 25 years of experience. He worked with multiple industry and countries, from Washington, from US to London, Europe, and Singapore, and also Australia. So welcome, Sam, today with our series.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Sam. So pleasure to be invited to this Thought Leader series.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And really, first question for today is because you work in cybersecurity industry, right? For multiple location. So what is the difference between the cybersecurity behavior between the location?
Right.
Like for example, from Barclays in London and also OCBC in Singapore.
So maybe the main difference is that I'm fortunate that I studied in Australia. So in Australia environment is a bit more standard driven. So I started off with Australian standard 4360. So that's the risk management standard that is inherited from the British, over a long time ago. So from a bank perspective, the bank that I first started off with has already have about 150 years history. So coming from a mature bank perspective, I get good foundation on what risk management is, what cybersecurity is. The first bank that I worked for is Australian and New Zealand banking group, the ANZ banking group. So they are one of the top 4 banks in Australia, and from a cybersecurity perspective, it's one of the most mature and engaging place that I work in, right? So I started off working as a forensic analyst and a risk analyst. Because forensic incidents doesn't happen all the time, so that's where I double head as a risk analyst as well, focusing on technology risk. In the past, it used to be called information security. Cybersecurity is a newer term in recent years, but it's the same, right? Our main goal is to protect the information wherever it sits, be it physical to digital to in the cyberspace nowadays. And based on today's theme, it will be highly relevant in AI context, right? Where AI is driven with the use of information to produce an outcome. And through that interaction, there's many opportunity for both productive use. AI is the biggest mega trend of our life in that sense. After the internet revolution, I think AI is the next big trend that will transform lives and economies. I think country like Vietnam is well placed to leapfrog with AI to be on level playing field with other countries, right? Myself coming from Singapore, as a very small country, in the cyber world, everyone is on an equal playing field. Everyone can have the same presence in terms of a domain name. Once you have a domain, you have the website. A Fortune 500 company versus a company in Vietnam, there's no difference, right? You can have the same and equal presence. It's all about the experience and the value that you bring to the consumer. And I think that's where we are living in exciting times. So mature countries like Australia and London, I mean, they share the same roots in banking. At the same time, yeah, while they are standard driven, but I think in Asia, like I work in Singapore and I cover APAC extensively. So that's where, from a legacy perspective, like, in old traditional banks, we're reliant on mainframe systems. They're stable, but they are very hard to innovate. Nowadays, I see, like, in the last 10 years, digital banks, virtual banks, they all have sprout out. They all have offer better value and customer experience to the consumer. And that's where traditional banks are now threatened, right? Banks are not threatened by other banks. Banks are threatened by the new fintech companies, the new virtual banks that are offering much more competitiveness as well as better customer experience that is relevant to the new generation, right? Because nowadays people don't like to go to bank branches. No one wants to wait in a long queue. So say even in Singapore, the branches are changing to be more hotel-like. Like now, they will have a personal, either a personal banker or private banker, or even the tellers in the past have behind a counter now are being more open space to be more engaging and personal to the consumer, right? I think this is changing trend.
Yeah.
And and any countries with the right mindset and forward-looking can actually transform. I think that's where, combined with the mega trend of AI, that's where you can do a lot more than to compete with even traditional legacy bank, right?
Actually, in the market now, there's a terms, especially with the BFSI industry, right? You know that we care a lot about the securities and the compliance as well. And you can see that bank now have to trade off between the convenience of their customers, their clients, with the security, with the especially with the raising of the cybersecurity concerns. So, in your opinions, what should be a good approach at the cybersecurity management?
So traditionally, it's a balance between usability and security, but actually it doesn't have to always be that way, right? With modern security techniques, right, with biometrics, with and what we call multimodal security, we can combine different types of security to make a better customer experience without compromising security. So let me give you an example. Like, say for example, we've been using PIN and password for the last 30-40 years. But that's only one type of access control. Access control, there are three main types. What you know, which is PIN and password, what you have, which is the token cards and the dongles, and what you are, which is your biometrics. And biometrics, again, have many forms. In the past, the phone had fingerprint, you have facial biometrics, we have voice biometrics, because biometrics is really on physiological attributes, right? It can be a signature. The signature itself is a form of biometrics. So if you combine any two of these, the most powerful, I would say, would be two forms of biometrics, or what you know, what you have, or what you are, what you know, what you have, right? The three forms. When you combine them together, it's much more secure. Currently, the industry, we are still talking about 2FA, two-factor authentication, right? I start to hear the word multi-factor authentication. So that's the same concept, right? Where we combine multiple options. I think from a fintech perspective, don't restrict ourselves to just PIN and username and PIN and password, right? Where we can be creative and use the one that introduced the least friction based on the business use case. For example, nowadays, if I open up my laptop, I have Windows Hello to do facial recognition, right? So I don't even need to type in a password. So this is what we call frictionless security. It's more secure than a PIN, because a PIN means someone may have copied it, stand behind my shoulder to do leaf dropping or shoulder sniffing. So PIN and password, you will get stolen easily and be replicated. But biometrics are a lot harder. So that's where we want to combine modern technology to make sure that we can better.
So, do you think that in the near future, the network will know more the standard of the security in
Yeah, and I think on the contrary, because we are so like pervasive use of technology, like say AI were to come on with agentic agents,
Yes,
that's
right.
where security is actually more important to facilitate the foundation and build trust, right? Because
Yes, right.
say for example, we built the best car in the world, but the best car in the world and they can go the fastest is only safe if you have a good brake, right? So if I can go very fast, but if it cannot brake, then I wouldn't want to put anything precious inside the car, right?
That's right.
But if I'm going to put my family inside a car, I want to make sure the brake is good, the tires are good,
That's right.
you know, so that I can go fast, but I can also stop safely, right?
Yeah,
so that's
right.
where we need to draw a parallel that, you know, we want to make sure that security is the foundation of safety and trust. With safety, then people can put their money, they can put their valuable information in order to use it widely, right? Another example I can quote is like say from a fire perspective. We know fire. No one likes a fire disaster, but like so that's why buildings need to buy fire insurance. We need to have a fire station with firefighting equipments that can put out in case a fire does happen, right? So all these controls, they are physical security controls, but it's the same analogy to a cybersecurity world where they are still necessary to do prevention, like the smoke detectors. You still need to do fire drills so that people's awareness on how to react to a fire is there, to have the instinct what to do when something happens, right?
Yes, right.
And also, you know, if they may not be able to put out a fire, I mean, nowadays you have fire extinguisher in every floor, or fire hydrant, but that may not be sufficient if the fire get too big. That's where you can call in the experts, right? The fireman to come and put out the fire. Similarly, in cybersecurity, that's where you need to practice the same hygiene to make sure that the basic controls from prevention all the way to detect, response, correct is all there in order to have that foundation to build trust for the business, for your customers to interact, right? Once the trust is there, then customer will more likely continue and stay, right? Because winning the customer is one thing. To retain them is the ongoing thing, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah, because one major cyber incident will make the customer lose trust and they may migrate to another competing, to your competitors, right? So that's where we see security as a foundation level that is a basic, right? Because it's not just the company's asset. The company is all our asset as well, right? Because we are a customer of a bank. So, you know, for us to trust our money and put our life saving into the bank,
Yes.
I would expect the bank to have the best security possible to protect my money, right?
Yes,
so
right.
that's where, if it's a major incident happen and after investigation found that okay, actually the bank didn't invest that much to protect us,
Yes, right.
then you know people will feel worried and they may move somewhere else, right? So we want to make sure that not only doing it for own company reputation, but also for the confidence of the customer, for public confidence, and therefore a national image as well, right? Yeah.
Yes, right. You're right. You're right. I agree with you. One more thing is recently we have the you know that there's some in banking and BFSI in general we have the Web3 and blockchain's involvement. The like blockchain assets, right? And there's a lot of incidents happen in that world. Even though I can see that some big exchange like Binance, they apply the cybersecurity inside their system, but still there's like some cyber criminal happens within that platform. So in your opinion, what should be like a good cybersecurity approach for those for the new economies and the new industry like Web3 or cryptos?
Yeah. So I mean, for the newer industries like Web3 and crypto and ICOs, I think the same thinking or methodology should apply. I mean, bank is just one example where it's highly regulated, but the same mindset where because say the crypto exchange, they equally hold money or valuable, tokenized money value, right? So the same requirement should apply. I think Singapore we deliberately haven't had approved Bitcoin exchanges because I think it's a new problem and they need new requirements to safeguard. But other countries like say South Korea and in the Middle East, it's commonplace. So don't wait for rules to come because laws and rules are always a bit reactive. It only comes after the fact when something major that may happen. So I think to adopt good cybersecurity practices, to look at good cybersecurity frameworks that they can adopt. I mean, traditionally, most banks adopt the NIST cybersecurity framework from the US. I mean, that's one version, but at the same time, it's a good reference to make sure that from a holistic perspective, right, from governance to prevent, detect, response, recover, is all there. Because to me, as long as the company or any type of companies hold valuable asset, then the asset,